I feel like I've had an epiphany. Cars replaced our foot strength. GPSs replaced our ability to read the stars. Water bottles replaced our ability to make and identify clean water. Grocery stores replaced our knowledge for agriculture and foresting. Phones replaced our nightly routine of staring at the stars. Computer skills like Excel replaced our ability to identify trees and know which are the best for houses, for canoes, tools, or climbing. Humans became so smart that they became stupid. I stare at the sky and realize I don't know any of the constellations or trees around me, the bugs and anything else. I've learned so many things in my life just to be ushered into a computer-based job that deems me to be an intelligent and good human, as it handicaps my ability and destroys my generational knowledge of how to live. This isn't to say that all technological advances are bad. This is to bring awareness to our pronounced and very recent disconnection from nature. Humans have never been so severed from the environment around us, and it is making us miserable. I realize how stupid I've become. Despite all of the gear I purchased from REI and acquired from my parents, I wouldn't know how else to survive in the wild. I realize that I want more nights like this, more nights of staring outside at the night sky and being detached from my phone. I think about the Mojave people and how all of Oatman acquainted to their lifestyle, how their soles on their feet were thick from running barefoot for their whole lives, how they must have stared at the sky every day, how they knew the Colorado River like the back of their hands, how they knew how to build homes, find and grow food, played games, rejoiced many days. Women were bare-breasted and free, and all of Oatman, just like Mary Ann Parker, didn't want to return back to white civilization because they found wholeness and happiness and love with the local tribes. Humans have been murderous and self-destructive for much of our time on this planet Earth. Something about greed, fear, hive mindset, and more makes us continuously violate human rights. The Mayans used to sacrifice people for their god in ritualistic ceremonies. One woman is killed every 10 minutes for her gender because of global femicide. The Mojave were happy folks who bore face tattoos and had transgender people among them. Yet today, transgender people are vilified to the degree where they're committing suicide and being put on registered lists, where many view them as being subhuman and corrupted. The Piscataway people lived in Baltimore before it was Baltimore. The Tahitian people were seafaring explorers where the word tautau comes from, which means tattoo. I ate s'mores this evening, and 100 Palestinians likely died from the induced starvation for Israel's colonial agenda. I read about how the ethnographer Whipple noted in his encounters trying to find all of Oatman in the 1850s, how the Mojave people were wonderful people, yet he sadly knew that at some point the white settlers would murder them all, regardless of their hospitality. I think about how being alive is just a gamble of how much trauma, dehumanization, and violence that the world is going to hand to you. Emory University is one of 32 elite universities that openly participated in practices to entrench inequality while inflating the price of attendance. They conspired using their early decision admissions process in order to steal more money from students like me, where we had to acquire higher loans to attend college instead of getting more grants. I graduated from Emory University with $22,000 in debt, and I'm waiting to hear about this class action lawsuit, which could likely change my finances in a drastic way. Life is a gamble as to where you are born in the world, at what time, and to whom. I think of that one boy I liked in New Zealand, who tried to make me feel bad in this weird way for being stressed out in my youth while living in the United States. As if it was my fault for believing the things that I was told and living there when I was younger. It felt like he was pointing his finger at me and laughing for having been born and raised in the United States and talking about all of the stress and trauma that the United States has passed on to me. It is a sheer stroke of luck how much abuse or privilege that you endure in this world. Anyone could dehumanize you at any moment and kill you, and it would be a tragedy to you and the people you love most. But to somebody else, it might not matter at all. I can see a dozen ways how AI will facilitate this murderous fascist agenda. I envision all of this as I stare at the stars, waiting to see the Perseid meteor shower that has been going on for the past month. I want more nights like this. I had my brat summer and pink pony club girl moment in 2024. I lived it, I loved it, and now I'm over it. I want to live with nature and stare at the stars every night before going to bed. I don't want to hear the revving of motorcycles and car engines as I'm living in this city apartment. I'm trying to find a way to balance all of the things that I know will make me happy, while also reckoning with the harsh reality that it costs a lot of money to be alive, especially in the United States. This capitalist and colonial model that we live under is very new to humanity, and it's not something that you can easily hustle your way out of. I stare at the stars and I think of all of the love and violence that exists in the world. I think of the indigenous people who lived in the Americas before it was the Americas, just like how Gaza may no longer exist anymore because of Israel's agenda. I wonder why life is so complicated, and I think back to my English teacher in high school who told everyone that the root of all evil in the world was greed. At first, I didn't believe her, but as every day goes on, I realize more and more how true that sentiment is. I don't want a lot of stuff. I don't want to work a meaningless job. I don't want to master all of these skills that don't actually help me stay alive in the world. I want to understand the nature around me. I want to reciprocate love to the environment that I live with. I want to practice the art of leaving no trace, which to me means leaving no harm on the planet around me. I just want to be outside. I just want to live a simple and happy life.